tonight, I mean, this is so... I wrote the book, what was it? It was The Eye of Moloch. And it came out. Do you remember? It came out on a Tuesday, and either Monday or Wednesday was the day that Snowden came out and said, the CIA is spying on you. Remember that?
I don't remember
and
that.
And I remember just thinking, wow, what timing, because that's what that book is all about. Tonight, I'm doing a special, and I'm going to show you how there is a net or a noose that is being readied. And it is well coordinated, and it is closer than you think. Tonight, I'm going to show you how churches, religious institutions are directly under attack, not just by this administration. Religion is being hit methodically from multiple different directions. The media, street activists, perversions within the church itself, as well as directly from this government. And it is all happening right now. I'm going to show you how a group of House Democrats are looking to weaponize the IRS directly at Christian leaders that have been staples of the American religious community for decades. Oh, those IRS are just going after rich people. Well, and pastors. At the same time, the left is creating their own religious networks and their own religious experts that, let's just say, have questionable opinions. I want to show you the opinion from the new president of the Evangelical Network, a group called Equal Justice USA. That sounds like something really done. I mean, that sounds like the church I want to go to. His name is Sam Heath. Here he is recently on a podcast talking about, people of trouble. Here it is.
There may need to be a season of separation without harm for an individual. Someone may need to be removed from a situation, a person, or from society. But the goal of that is ultimately to have that person reintegrated back into community. And we already believe this as Christians, right? If we did church discipline in the right way, that's exactly what it is. Right? We approach someone. If that's rebuff, we approach with a group. We bring it before the church, and then that person is removed. Excommunication is never meant to be this permanent, lasting punishment. It is meant to be this thing that is done for the safety of the community, because harm is always communal in its effect. And it is done with an invitation to return. It is done always with a handout of welcome, of return to this, healing is offered to you. But if you can't pursue that, in order to protect this community, we might need to remove someone for a season.
Well, for a season. I mean, it wouldn't be bad. Like summer camp.
Right.
Like summer camp.
A camp.
Okay. Now, let me just ask you. This is a guy who is, let's just say, all he's talking about is abolishing all prisons. And the churches just are like, hey, you know what? For a season, I got to have you in a timeout. But what is illegal right now? What are we really talking about? Because I've heard people on MSNBC for years now talking about, what are we going to do with these people that voted for Trump? What are we going to do with these people? Now, first, if this was a Christian talking on a podcast about the sanctity of human life, they would have been labeled white Christian nationalist. So we did some digging around, because this guy, he hasn't been labeled anything but good. So his group, Equal Justice USA, has received a 7-figure fund from George Soros's Open Society. Religion is a left-wing weapon now. It is under attack. Leftist agendas are being poured into doctrine and to churches all over the country. You need to be aware of it. But you also need to be aware that the government is going to do whatever they can as well. Abuse of power is what the FBI is doing right now. They are using the FACE Act. How many times have you ever seen a SWAT team or an FBI guys kicking down the door of somebody's house? I have seen that now more, and it's on an act I hadn't even heard about. I mean, I remember when it was passed, and I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of reasonable. Make sure you don't block people. But They should be able to pray. They should be able to say, hey, don't go in. Please don't go in. They should be able to do that, but don't block somebody from entering. Okay. All right. Well, now the Biden administration has taken another political target. Those who believe in the right for life. The guy who is involved on this one, 25-year-old Herb Garrity, he was charged with a conspiracy against rights and FACE Act offenses. Wow, a conspiracy. Yes, it's conspiracy. He's going to be on with me in just about an hour. He can't talk about some things. You know who this guy is? This is the guy who helped remember they found all of the fetuses, all the little babies in Washington, D.C., and then it just kind of disappeared, that story. Remember?
Loosely.
Yeah, you'll remember it next hour.
You're going to have to be more specific when you talk about one of these abortion clinics or situations that turn out really ugly.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of them.
Okay, so he's now facing 11 years in prison. He will tell you in a little while. He found out about it on Twitter that they were coming for him. That's how he found out about it, okay? He has since said, I'm willing to turn myself in, but they're not, I don't have a word from them yet. I hope they don't bust down my door because I'm welcome. In fact, I have the feeling he kind of welcomes a trial. So this is the world we're headed in if we don't stop the FBI. A whistleblower on the FBI just came out. He blew the whistle on the agency because they're not I'm quoting, they're not following their own rules. The way they are using, quote, excessive tactics ensures that the process is the punishment, even if the suspect is innocent. That's what's happening. You think that 86-year-old woman's going to prison? I don't think so.
No, but the process is the punishment in and of itself. And I think to make a quick distinction here, Glenn, you mentioned the FACE Act being rational as far as like, okay, we don't want to block people from going into clinics. And look, you shouldn't be able to do that. It is irrational in the United States of America, however, for that to be a federal crime. There's no reason that comes from the federal government.
No reason.
Local states,
these things
communities
are always local.
That's how you
always local. The problem is the local police. They're not doing it. They're not arresting because they'll arrest them, charge them with a misdemeanor, and they'll say, "Look, guys, you can't do that." And they'll arrest them with a misdemeanor, and that's it. This particular act happened 2.5 years ago, and the FBI is just on it now.
Right, and that's the problem. When you say the problem is that they're not, the local police aren't doing enough, they're just charging them with a misdemeanor. That's not a problem. That's how it should occur. That's correct.
Correct.
What's going on now is they found this rule and they're utilizing it as a weapon to go after people they don't like.
Exactly right.
And we're seeing it over and over again across the country. This is why even a sensible law should not be in the hands of the federal government. This is why you keep it close to home. This is why you keep it in your local community. There's no reason why a federal law needs to exist to block, because people in Pocatello, Idaho are being blocked walking into a clinic. That's an Idaho situation, not a Washington, D.C. situation.
I was reading something the other day unrelated to this, and it said, and it is true, on page 23,897 of the federal code, it states, and I thought, oh, it's just that it's right there.
Why didn't we know?
Now, here's the craziest part of this thing. We are living in a time, we are living in a time that has been lived in before, where the two sides don't see the same thing at all. We're not seeing the same thing at all. We're seeing FBI come in and bust down the doors of people who were praying. bust their doors down, and then everybody else who steals, kills people, they're just released. It's no big deal. Okay? Now, we're also seeing this happen because people were praying at abortion clinics. Here is a new ad from Swalwell.
Eric Swalwell, the congressman?
Yeah. It's a new campaign ad. I'm going to describe it. It is a couple having dinner in their house with their children, and they're having dinner, and all of a sudden you see the blue and red lights through the window. Listen.
You're weird.
He is weird, but cute.
Oh, look at this.
Gross.
Mary Anderson,
Yes.
I have a warrant for your arrest.
Arrest for what?
Penal Code 243 violation. Unlawful termination of a pregnancy.
You gotta be kidding me.
That
No, he is.
my personal business.
That's for the courts to decide, ma'am. Your medical records have been subpoenaed, and Dr. Landry's already in custody.
This is unbelievable.
No, my God, you can't just.
You will have to submit to a physical examination.
What? By who?
No one's touching me.
Oh, this is incredible. Pull the guns.
Put your hands behind your back.
Okay, stop. I can't watch anymore. You know why this is crazy is, first of all, it's local police.
Yeah.
It's local police. And they're not knocking. They're pounding. Open up, FBI.
Right.
And if you don't open, then they come in. But they come in with rifles pointed at people. 87-year-old ladies.
Yeah, this is really happening against the pro-life movement. It is not happening against women who have had abortions. By the way, none of the laws passed
Would allow that.
in any of these states.
And you know what?
Make the woman need to be prosecuted.
I would stand against it. You can't. We have got to heal hearts, not throw people in prison. On this, now doctors are maybe a different thing if it's against the law.
That's where the
Yes.
law usually hits. Is
Right.
It's illegal to do it, and the doctor's the one that gets punished,
and
not
that-
the woman. I honestly don't think there's one law in the entire country that does that.
No. And
But
would you stand against it?
Regardless, I don't think that's the certainly the right approach for today.
Correct.
I think at some point it would be interesting if we actually do believe that this is taking a life, that the person.
No, I know that, but we are
that is
so
not
far
where we
away.
are. Right,
We're
exactly.
not there.
Right, and the point here is that this is a mythical thing. This, you know what it reminded me of, Glenn? Cory Gardner banned birth control.
Oh, I know.
Right? Remember that whole thing where
Yeah.
Cory Gardner, the former senator from Colorado, they tried to get him to beat him initially when he was running for office, and they ran these ads where he was going to delete birth control from availability, and it's like, well, that's not at all what happened. The guy's already left office. They're still warning people that birth control is going to go away just around the corner. And it never happens. They never have to honor this fan fiction they put out there in election season.
Correct. So now the FBI is moving at gunpoint. Not like I almost said Cory Gardner, Eric Swalwell.
Oh, yeah.
Not like he's saying. The exact opposite of that. There are cases now that are 2 years old with no violence, and the FBI is trying to put these people in jail for 11 years. May I ask, where is the FBI with Jane's Revenge? Where is the FBI in the over 170 attacks on Catholic targets since May of 2020? Where are you on that one, FBI? There is an agenda, and I will show it to you tonight at 9 p.m. You don't want to miss it.
If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be sure to see similar videos from BlazeTV with the added bonus of signaling YouTube that your voice and opinion still matters. And if you're looking for more great conservative content, check out one of the 2 videos suggested here.